DNA, the Metaverse Dual Chain Network Architecture.
Hi, I'm Alex Lightman, and welcome to the Lightman Report. I have a background of beach and the ocean because Los Angeles, where I live, just opened up the beaches for the first time since March, and I'm very excited about that. I'm also excited about our topic, which is going to be blockchain in gaming. And I'm Alex Lightman. This is the Lightman Report, and it's enabled by DNA Metaverse. And so this is what we're going to talk about: gaming in numbers, lack of trust, how blockchain can enable trust, blockchain tech in games, in-game purchases, crypto payments, a view about a pioneer of this whole sector, gray market, gaming assets, decentralized markets, how to apply blockchain technology, scarce and non-fungible tokens, security and transparency, and the revolution in gaming. So let's go. So blockchain in the gaming industry. Gaming in numbers, we had in 2019, we had more than 2.5 billion gamers across the world, and combined, it says they, but actually it's we, spent about $152 billion. And if you look at this graphic, about 68.5 billion, or 45% of that, was for our mobile games, and 47.9 billion, we call it 48 billion, is for console games, and 35.7 billion was for PCs. The vast majority of that PC stuff is not web browser, but about 3 billion of that rather was for web browser games. So that's a pretty hefty market. For comparison, that's about the size of the beef industry and the lottery industry and the public transportation industry of the United States all combined. And now that we have quarantine in 2020, there are a lot more people playing games probably than ever before. Mobile gaming was the largest segment and growing 10% a year. So that's a hell of a segment. Now, if that grows as much this year, I'm going to make a guess that for 2020, this segment will grow, the whole gaming market will probably grow more than 20%. And we also have the return of some games that I like a lot, like The Last of Us Part 2, on which I have the highest rated comment of the announcement of the game. I'm very proud of that. And also we have the launch of the PlayStation 5. I play PlayStation 4 quite a lot. I love it. And my favorite game is The Witcher. And okay, let's go look at further. So there's a lack of transparency and trust between game developers and game players. And the games often have an economy inside them, and usually the economy of the game is completely controlled by the developers. For instance, one of the most lucrative games is Raid Shadow Legends, and that game is the economy is completely controlled by the developers. It's owned by an Australian casino, but it's made by Ukrainian developers. And the users want fairness and transparency when it comes to transaction, and also if they've won these assets, they'd like to own them. And so basically people, 83% believe that responsibility for safeguarding the data lies with developers. So blockchain is a way to enable trust in a gaming context. A successful gaming company can establish trust with gamers by utilizing and enabling blockchain in payments, smart contracts, decentralized application, decentralized asset exchanges, verifiable scarcity of virtual objects and collectibles. So if you are one of the only people in the world who has something, it could be quite a lot. And if you look at Warcraft, World of Warcraft has pets. So there's some pets. I paid $90 for a rocket chicken. I think that's the max. But people have paid $1,800 for the little angel guy. And also the ability for developers to monetize their creations. So developers can make money, and the users can also go and earn things and then keep them and keep playing the game, have a value for it. And so I think that there should be more trust for the gamers. We can use blockchain in games for smart contracts and automatic payments. So gamers would be paid automatically at the end of a tournament through a system of automated prize pool allocations that are powered by blockchain technology. And with blockchain-enabled smart contracts, winners would get the prizes that they were promised, and they can apply those both to monetary rewards. So, and out of that, you can get the monetary rewards, you can get achievements, skins, weapons, playtimes, avatars, music, all these things can be rewarded. There's just such a panoply, a cornucopia, the horn of the goat of Zeus, full of prizes that could come there, all of which you would be guaranteed to get through the blockchain. Processing of fiat payment systems can take days or even weeks, and the credit card payments can be repudiated or reversed. Blockchain-based in-game payments can address these issues. And let's look deeper into in-game crypto payments. Cryptocurrencies can, in theory, cope with the payments better. Blockchain can make the payments secure. Crypto can make the payments easy. And one example is the Worldwide Asset Exchange, WAX, started by my friend William Quigley, which is set up to make all this happen. They even tokenized a warehouse full of sneakers, and whereas the sneakers normally would trade a certain number of times, they traded back and forth dozens of times in the first week because people were trading the tokens for the sneakers. So one of the pioneers, in fact, the pioneer of this whole sector is a friend of mine, Brock Pierce. And Brock has been the chairman of the Bitcoin Foundation. And from my perspective, he's the inventor or co-inventor of virtual goods, of the initial coin offering through Mastercoin and Omni, the security token offering through Blockchain Capital. And from my perspective, he's the reason that Blizzard, which is part of Activision, and other gaming companies switched from, on the one hand, not allowing sales of gold and objects. At one point, I know that the Blizzard guys wanted to go after Brock for setting up a market for these things. But now Blizzard has reversed and inverted its whole model. So when you have Heroes of the Storm, you have a lot of games that are free to play, and you have a certain subset of that that's free to play. But then if you want to have skins, if you want to have heroes and so on, you can get them. So when you consider the size of the crypto market, and you consider the size of gaming and online gaming, it's quite amazing how much of an influence Brock has had on that. And so this whole market for game assets, you can call it the gray market. Game developers have designed their games to be closed ecosystem, and this led to the creation of gray markets where players can come together to make that. Now, 1 out of every 7.5 virtual items is lost to fraud. Wow. Just think about if 1 out of every 7.5 cars that were sold was instantly stolen by the dealer. Add to this the cost of chargebacks and failed transactions, and that's billions of dollars a year. It might even be over $10 billion a year. And of the 5 purchases that I've tried to make of these kind of markets, 3 of them were, out of the 5, were fraudulent, and I lost my money on it. So this is something that really needs to be improved as gaming becomes something that goes to 3 billion, 4 billion, 5 billion people, all of whom were able to buy, sell, borrow, loan, and swap things. So crypto and tokens are a good way to integrate the different worlds, the world of real money and the world of the game. And blockchain enables tokenization of these assets and the creation of decentralized gaming asset markets. Blockchain technology enables publishers to embed rules into their tokenized assets that enforce a transaction fee upon the transfer of the asset, regardless of where the asset is being sold. So if you look at Bitcoin, some people call it a bubble. So this guy's blowing bubbles, says it's a bubble with Bitcoin. Then it's a bubble when it's a little balloon. Then it's a hot air balloon. And then finally, it's a bubble protecting you from the devastation of the world. And in fact, that cartoon has been around for a few years, but it's never been true more than now, because we just had the coronavirus AIDS stimulus package bill kind of thing that has $6.5 billion. So we see that the U.S. dollar, the U.S. Can have any number of dollars created out of thin air and just thrown into the economy and given to large corporations. And there has to be some level of scarcity. And the thing about Bitcoin is it's about 18.3, 18.4 million coins. We just had, as of the taping of this 2 days ago, the halvening, so that the block reward has gone from 12.5 to 6.25. And so the supply is getting less and less. There's a slower flow. So you have stock and you have flow, and the flow just got cut in half. So instead of every 10 minutes having about 12.5 coins, you only have 6.5 coins. And also, there are millions of coins that people have lost. So there's not really 18.3 million coins. That's how many have been mined, but that's not how many people can access. A lot of people have lost many coins because they just didn't know they were valuable. So gamers can visit the decentralized markets to buy virtual assets at a fair price based on an open, transparent order book. And creating networks that facilitate trading, sharing, and gifting of virtual items increases the social value, and it's a form of communication. Sending money, sending game objects is a form of messaging. It's a form of communicating. It's a way of showing you care. And users are free to trade their assets as they see fit, and publishers can continue to generate revenue beyond the primary market. So if you use blockchain technology properly, you can make sure that your gaming assets are unique and secure. And using encrypted blockchain ledgers to store digital assets will guarantee safe storage of game items permanently. Distributed cryptography is unhackable because you have to hack the right nodes at the right time while getting through impenetrable encryption. Virtual items will be safe in the user's pocket, on a flash drive, wherever you go, as long as you want. And the public blockchain ledger will allow game developers to develop rare virtual items and prove their scarcity. So here's an example, the first big example that got everybody's attention within crypto: scarcity and non-fungible tokens. So scarcity is one of the key parameters of defining the value of gaming assets, and all in-gaming belongings can be transformed into non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, by the blockchain. These tokens are unique. The companies may use crypto to buy and sell in-gaming assets, and CryptoKitties is a collect and breed game that showed real money could be made from crypto games. Some of these kitties were worth tens of thousands of dollars equivalent in Ethereum. And implementation of the blockchain can increase the average revenue per paying user. So we have, or per paying user too. Centralized gaming platforms are vulnerable to hackers, and their management can manipulate gaming assets market. In the blockchain, all payments and transactions in the in-gaming market should be transparent and secure. And we end up now with what I would call a revolution in gaming that's coming. The implementation of blockchain and crypto in gaming is already changing the industry. Together with virtual reality, augmented reality, and artificial intelligence, blockchain makes the industry totally different because it allows you to retain the value of your productive work even if you're in quarantine just gaming all the time. And I think that we're going to hit a critical mass of this next year with the PlayStation 5 and gaming and broadband networks and everybody working at home through all of this and spending more time on gaming, because gaming is, I think, the #1 way that people are maintaining their critical health. This is Alex Lightman with the Lightman Report, enabled by Metaverse DNA. Thank you, and see you next week when we talk about gambling.